talks about the virtue, how he actually tells you how to get virtue, but he doesn't come outright and say it. He tells you that to get virtue, you basically have to immerse yourself in wisdom and allow what you want to do to merge with what wisdom says to do. And the result of that is that you will be able to allow wisdom to bring out the best in you. But only if you know what she's saying to do. You have to familiarize yourself with wisdom. Okay? So we're going to go in chapter 4, and we're going to start in verse 6 today. Now, this is talking about children. And again, we talked about how children is dealing with the people that are to you, very submissive to you. All right, younger than you in spirit, that you have taught, and your actual biological children. So we have two ways to look at that children. Both are valid. We have the children in terms of your biological children that you taught, and the people that you're teaching about living a righteous life. Right? So those are the two aspects that we're looking at. Now we're going to start in verse 6, and we're going to just move on through. We won't tarry today. We're going to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, and we're going to start in verse 6. All right, go ahead.
For children begotten of unlawful beds are witnesses of wickedness against their parents and their tribe.
Now, this is going into, of course, the wickedness that men and women do, and have what the Bible calls a mamzer baby, or a bastard baby, which is a baby that was born from a union that was unlawful, like a brother and a sister, or a nephew and an aunt, an uncle and a niece. Those are what you would call mamzers, okay? Or his brother's wife, all right? So now those children are a physical witness of the sins that the mothers and the fathers have done. Now, also, when you set up an organization, an institution, a group, a camp, a school, or whatever, and you're not operating lawfully, and you get other brothers with you to help you push forward your agenda, then you all become like the parents, and you all are producing an unlawful union of the students that are under you. All right, so this is going into that also. All right, because these people are coming to you like children to get understanding, to get knowledge. Okay, and if you're operating outside of the Torah, you're operating outside the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding and the principles of all of the righteous men in the Bible, all of the men that have sacrificed their life, their time, that even died for our cause of righteousness, including Yahweh Shia Mashiach. If you're operating outside the parameters of what Yahweh has given us, and you influence other people to do that also, then you're dealing with an unlawful bed type of situation. Okay? And the children, the men and women that you teach that come from that union, they are witnesses against the wickedness that you're pushing. So let's understand, when we're reading about Solomon, and we went into this yesterday, it's not always what it says verbatim, but there's a metaphor in every parable of wisdom. There's a treasure in wisdom. Treasure means something that's limitless, something that's without bounds, something that's expansive. All right, something that can produce many fruits from the energy or the power that it has. And that's how wisdom is. It's not just one way to look at a parable, because the parables apply to several thousands of situations in life. So this is what Solomon's talking about in this verse. All right, verse 7.
But though the righteous be prevented with death.
So the righteous people will be prevented with death. Go ahead.
Yet shall he be in rest.
Meaning that the righteous man may not be able to move forward with his plan because of death. Now now this is talking about people like Yaikwab, or people like Masha, people like Bibbins. These men were men of righteousness, but they died so they were prevented from continuing on their mission. Same thing happened with Moses. Moses was prevented from his mission, okay? Solomon was prevented in doing more things, David too, because death came upon them. Why? Because death is the judgment of all of us because of the sin of Adam, okay? So even though they may be prevented or stopped, from their agenda because of death, what did David do before he died? He told his son Solomon, I'm going to die, and this is what needs to be done. Jacob, I'm going to die, and these are the conditions that's going to come around onto my son. Moses, what did he do before he died? These are the conditions of life that are going to come upon all of the 12 tribes. See, in the preparation of death, there's a peace, there's a tranquility in that particular death, because though you are prevented, you've left behind, all right, people to carry on that righteous mission. You've left records, you've left information, you've left guides, and you've left secrets in your writing that you've discovered righteously that can be shown inside the Bible, that can be shown inside the Torah, that may not be for everybody to see. Maybe it's only for your family. So this is what it's talking about. But you will be at rest. Read.
For honorable age is not that which standeth in length of time.
So Solomon is telling us that it doesn't matter how many years you live. We've all heard the phrase that you can be an old fool. All right? Just because you have a lot of years doesn't mean that those years are years of wisdom. So Solomon is saying that if you're talking about an honorable age, an age that has honor, we're not talking about how many years you've been on this earth. All right? Length of time. Read.
Nor that is measured by number of years.
So he's saying that an honorable age of a man is not measured by how long you've lived your life. Read.
But wisdom.
Go ahead.
Is the gray hair unto men.
So he's saying that wisdom is the token of long life. Wisdom is the token of an honorable age. Wisdom. So wisdom is the gray hair unto men. So meaning that if you are a man and you're walking in wisdom, that wisdom is your gray hair, no matter what age you are. So if you're an older man and you're not walking in wisdom, but you do have gray hair, then you don't have the spiritual gray hair. And I was going into the metaphor. Wisdom is a gray hair unto a man, no matter how old he is. Look at Mashiach. Look at Solomon. Look at Samuel. The things that they were learning at a young age was beyond what older men were learning in their older age. You see? So we have a standard, and that standard is normal, but there are certain men that go beyond the normal. There's certain men that go beyond, you understand, the limitations that are before them. And they thrive in wisdom. They thrive in the Torah. Most of all, they thrive in righteousness. They thrive in wisdom. You have to thrive in wisdom in order for your life to truly, truly count in the long run. In order to truly leave behind a legacy, a righteous memorial of your life, so that other people can be inspired by your life and walk in righteousness and help other people and help our environment become more bearable, more livable. Read.
And an unspotted life.
An unspotted life, meaning that you're living your life righteousness. You're living your life without spot. Remember the scriptures talk about without spot, without wrinkle, without blemish. And only the word of Yahweh can allow you to attain unto that level. Only Yahweh's word can allow you to do that. You can't do that on your own. You can't do it with no santeria. You can't do it with no juju. You can't do it with no roots. You can't do it with no chakras. You can't do it with no casting spells. You can't do it with no crystals. You can't do it with no tarot cards. You can only do it, have that unspotted life, or judge yourself as being unspotted when you're purging and cleaning yourself with the word of Yahweh. That's the only way. Any other way before that, you're coming as a thief. All right, go ahead.
And unspotted life is old age.
Right, go ahead.
He pleased Elohim.
He who? He is talking about the righteous that we read about in verse 7. The righteous man that died. And if this man's life pleased Yahweh, how did he please Yahweh? Because his life was unspotted. Your life needs to be unspotted. You know, sometimes the things that you think, the things that you do are wrong. Put spots on your spirit. Put spots in your heart. And it causes you to do wrong things. But you have to be able to be strong enough to not succumb to the temptation, even in your mind. Because your mind is going to tell you to do something and think stuff that's against the Most High. It does it every day. But when you meditate on his word and when you immerse yourself in wisdom, your virtue will be extracted. You will be able to store treasures in Hashemayim in heaven. Because your actions are going to be dictated by what this wisdom says. Read.
And was beloved of him.
Yes.
So that living among sinners, he was translated.
So Yahweh translated that person's life because he didn't want him to live around those people that don't break the commandments anymore. He didn't want him to be around that temptation. The soul was clean. So this is what it's talking about when it says that you have an unspotted life and you're walking in wisdom. Unspotted life means you're obedient to the Torah. And the wisdom is, of course, the decision you're making and the counsel you're giving to other people include the Torah, but it goes a level beyond the Torah. And it shows them and shows you what you must do, decisions you must make. Your wisdom is the counsel of Yahweh. That's the only way you can know what is his counsel, is through wisdom. Read.
Yea, speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding, or deceit beguile his soul.
And this is what happens to a lot of people. They don't have a righteous life. So you wonder, how can somebody stop believing what is righteous to believe? How can somebody start to feel the opposite of what righteousness is talking about? Why? Because they're fellowshipping with sinners. In Psalms chapter 1, verse 1, warns us about that. All right, they're fellowshipping with sinners. They're not walking in wisdom. They're walking in foolishness. And what else? Their life is not spotted. Meaning they're doing things that Yahweh told them not to do. Right? So in doing this, what happens? They get deceived by the wickedness of other men. They get deceived by things that they read or things that they hear. They get deceived by their own imagination and think that they are wiser than the elders that were before them. And they say, well, you know what? I'm going in a whole different direction. This is how I'm going to keep the Sabbath. They put too much emphasis on doing X, Y, Z. We don't got to do all of that extra stuff. And they always lower the bar. They lower the bar. Read.
For the bewitching of naughtiness.
The what? The bewitching of naughtiness. That means you're under a spell to do things that the scriptures plainly tell us not to do. Understanding that it's easy to grasp onto. You're doing those things that are contrary. So now you've been bewitched by naughtiness. Go ahead.
Doth obscure things that are honest.
So the bewitching of naughtiness makes dark. It makes dark what? It makes dark the things that are honest, the things that are right. So how do you keep from being bewitched? All right. And I made a post about this the other day. Wickedness and spells and witchcraft, They only work on people that are not being protected and under the authority directly and voluntarily of Yahweh. That's the only way you fall out of understanding, because you think you know something better than everybody else, and you're not going to do. And a lot of you come with something that just started. A lot of the belief systems and things that we question, these are things that just started. We have thousands and thousands of years of history and records and practices that can be authenticated, and you want to come with something new. And this is what happened with a lot of these different so-called Israelite organizations. They come with something new. They say, well, you know what? We got to keep it this way. We're not going to do this. Everybody before me was wrong. I'm the one that got it right. So scripture says what? The bewitching of naughtiness hides things, makes things that are honest seem dark to you, without understanding, without clarity. So you have to stop from being bewitched. You have to stop being naughty. You have to stop making excuses to break and be obedient to small things. Read.
And the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind.
The wandering of it is talking about how you may be dealing with things that are morally unclean. And you may wander off into it every now and then, but you're doing things that are unclean in the eyes of Yahweh. So you're the simple mind that makes you think that it's okay to go against Yahweh. Your mind gets perverted. And you start doing things, saying things, and thinking things that are against him. All because you're walking out of wisdom. Go ahead.
He being made perfect in a short time.
He being made perfect, what? He's telling you that if you're wicked, you're going to fall for the okie doke. But if you are righteous and you are doing the things that the scriptures tell you to do, it says in a short time, you can live a very short life and do what?
Fulfilled a long time.
Your life can be very fulfilling. Your life can be meaningful. Your life can be purposeful if you live it honestly and uprightly and righteously. Read.
For his soul pleased Yahweh.
Now we're talking about the people that have died young. If a person is good enough, they die young. If they left behind that righteous legacy. If even in the eyes of Yahweh, there is no legacy to leave behind. It's just that they love him so much and they want to be obedient to him, and their spirit is just vexed from the wickedness that's going on in the world. And then Yahweh can allow that person to be a beacon of hope and inspiration of life to other people that see him. Read.
Therefore hasted he to take him away from among the wicked.
So Yahweh said, you know what, this person is righteous, upright, I'm going to take them away. And sometimes that's what happens when you have little children that die young. Their soul is already righteous. Their soul is already righteous. And most I may let them live, and 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 5-year-old, they may take away. They may get taken away. And sometimes their spirit is way more mature than the body that they were put into. The spirit is more mature than the flesh. The old man, an old woman, and then they may die young, 11, 12, 10, 9. They may die very young. This is, sometimes due to the fact that Yahweh doesn't want that soul to be corrected. That person was supposed to just come and be with that family, bring some light into their life, and then go back into the fourth dimension. I read. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4, verse what?
Verse 15.
Read.
The people saw.
So sometimes you see the death of a young person. A person that died young. It could be your sister. It could be your brother. It could be somebody that died young, but their spirit wasn't corrupted. And you wonder, why did the Most High take them away so young? Well, this is the Most High explaining it to you through wisdom that was shown to Solomon. The people saw it, go ahead.
and understood it not.
People don't understand, why did this person die so young? Read.
Neither laid they up this in their minds.
In their mind, they didn't even conceive. Well, the Most High took them because their spirit was pleasing before him. Read.
That his grace and mercy is with his saints, and that he hath respect unto his chosen.
Sometimes that short life is a symbol of the grace and mercy of Yahweh. That's why they got the saying, quit while you ahead. I mean, that person hasn't done a lot of wrong yet. So the Most High said, you know what, we're going to quit their life. We're going to take them back with us now. All right, go ahead.
Thus the righteous that is dead shall condemn the ungodly which are living.
Why is the young righteous person going to condemn the ungodly that's still living? Why? Because in their short life, they were able to do the right thing and attain unto a high level of righteousness. And that person that's still alive, they're still doing the wrong thing. They still haven't made full repentance. They're still making excuses. Read.
And youth that is soon perfected.
Youth that is soon perfected. Meaning their life is complete now. Read. Perfected, their life is complete, and they've done the right thing. Read.
The many years and old age of the unrighteous.
So the youth that is soon perfected, meaning doing the right thing, standing upright, being obedient, they are what? Their life is a condemnation unto the life of old men, old women that are living in unrighteousness. Why? Because you have 40, 45, 30 years to get right with the Most High. 60, 70, 80 years to get right. And here this person is 12 years old, and all they think about is breathing Yahweh's word into their spirit. That's all they think about. Doing something good for somebody else. So if they, in that short age, can realize that there's other things that are more important outside of what they want personally, but there's the consideration, there's the needs of other people. Then the older people that are still living have no excuse. Read.
For they shall see the end of the wise, and shall not understand it.
So they shall see that the young wise person is dead. The young wise person is dead now. All right? So they see that that person has died. And they don't understand that the Most High is actually showing mercy and grace to that person. Read.
And shall not understand what Elohim in his counsel hath decreed of him.
They don't understand what Yahweh, the righteous judgment that Yahweh has given us. I read.
And to what end Yahweh hath set him in safety.
Set him in safety. Take him from that life in this world so he can have eternal life. Read.
They shall see him and despise him. The Elohim shall laugh them to scorn. And they shall hereafter be a vile carcass and a reproach among the dead forevermore.
A reproach. Read.
For he shall rend them.
So Yahweh is going to rip apart the wicked. Rip their soul. Read.
And cast them down headlong.
Go ahead.
That they shall be speechless.
So he's going to punish them and with a fearful punishment. Horrible punishment. Read.
And he shall shake them from the foundation, and they shall be utterly laid waste.
The wicked. Read.
And be in sorrow, and the memorial shall perish.
Man, nobody's going to remember them for anything good. So this is what's happened to the wicked, man. That are old, walking around and trying to get people to go against the Most High. But you are looking at the magnetism of their personality. Oh, how they dress, how they talk. Their voice is so deep and their voice is so melodious. Their voice is so powerful. They have good rebuttals. They get good answers on their interviews and they just talk so brilliantly. Because remember, Hashatan also comes as an angel of light. Remember, these verses that you read about, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge and They that are led of them are destroyed and all of that. The leaders of my people cause them to err. That's not talking about people that are out in some other religion, some other nationality. That's talking about people with this book called the Bible in their hand, saying that they are Israelites. That's the primary audience that's being targeted in the Bible for criticism and exhortation and edification and reproof and correction to do the right thing. We are the primary target. We are the primary culprits. We are the primary guilty party that the Bible is talking about and warning other Israelites about. Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, they were warning Israelites about wicked Israelites and about wickedness, period. So we as Israelites in living in this modern age, we are also warning our people of the wickedness of all these different Israelite so-called leaders. We don't have nothing to do with what T.D. Jakes is doing, even though he's an Israelite. He's ignoring the fact that he's an Israelite, and he's not acknowledging his covenant. You, on the other hand, calling yourself an Israelite leader, making all kinds of publicity because you're an Israelite leader, and then you're not pushing obedience to the Torah, you got a horrible judgment coming. And if you don't read and know the Torah, you never understand that the people are leading you into death. You won't understand that unless you read the Torah, unless you read the books of wisdom. And then once you see the books of wisdom and you live the books of wisdom, now you can give advice and counsel on how to improve situations. Read.
And when they cast up the account of their sin.
Meaning when Yahweh, everybody's going to have to give an account of what they did wrong. Of all the law breaking that they've done, no matter what part of the planet you're on. If you're breaking the law, you're going to have to give an account for that. If you're doing righteousness and obedience to Yahweh, guess what? You got a reward coming to you. So what do you want? Something that you think is wrong? Or that you think is right? Or something that you know is the right thing to do? Do what you know is the right thing to do. Don't be influenced by nobody else trying to tell you you don't got to listen to what the Most High is saying to do. Because this or that, the other, whatever excuse they give you. Read.
They shall come with fear, and their own iniquities shall convince them to their face.
Nobody fears the Most High Yahweh now. But you're going to fear Yahweh. You're going to fear him on that day of judgment. So your best bet is to stop following the crowd. Follow what the scriptures say to do. And there's wisdom, there's light, there's a path to walk upon from the book of Genesis all the way to the book of Revelation. Undeniable. Undeniable. So you have to walk in all of these things. Wisdom, Torah, wisdom, and Hamashiach. All right, so that's gonna be about who we. I think we're good for the day. All right. What time is it? What time is it? Mexico Central Standard Time.
8:48.
All right. All right. So that's about 30 minutes. All right. 48. Okay. That's about 30 minutes. I would go into Psalms chapter 1. We're going to keep this right here short. All right? We're going to keep this short. But read Psalms chapter 1, because that gives you the counsel you need to do righteousness. Because a lot of you violate Psalms chapter 1 because you like somebody, because you're part of an organization. So you violate what Psalms chapter 1 is talking about. All right? So with that, we say shalom to Facebook. And again, we're going to go to the after party on Clubhouse now. All right, any questions or comments on Facebook? Shalom. All right, shalom, everybody. All right, so we're going to keep going on Clubhouse. And we're going to, that's the after party. And then we're going to go into, we're going to end it on Facebook. Shalom, Facebook.